jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back
Yo, big shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game. A-Side official. No negotiation needed, period. You already know. WCS back in the building. Big shout out to everyone that's pulling up. I want to jump right into it. At the end of the day, we have this modern day era that's closing out 2024 and bringing in 25, of course. And the big question is, what is the fight schedule going to look like? Who will we see? Are there any names out there that we was expecting or we was requesting on 2024-23 that we didn't get? Well, the great part about it, we do have David Benavidez and David Morrell, the tale of two Davids, right? Finally, we're getting to see them go in there and scrap it out. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. If it was any other fighter with the resume and experience level when it comes to the quality of our position, they would be getting criticized. But since this is a fighter from Cuba and David Benavidez has been the talk, ever since he's been trying to call out Canelo Alvarez, David Benavidez has been like a household name for a minute. He's had a couple of hiccups with his titles, right? Popping dirty, being overweight, and so forth. Okay. But I like this fight. Not to be hypocritical. I'm still going to be straight up with you. I don't think David Morrell, in a sense, can beat David Benavidez. All right. I don't think he can beat him. But if you're talking about someone who's had two Reggie titles, two WBA regular titles, one in 68 and one in 175 pounds, then you have to ask yourself, who else can Benavidez fight to give him some notoriety, to give him the check in the box, to give him the confirmation from the fans? And he needs to go ahead and get Morrell out the way. I like it. You know what I'm saying? I do. I like that. Just go ahead and get Morrell out the way. It's going to be a nice fight. They're headlining, and the people are going to tune in for it. Real talk. They're going to tune in. So let me get to what Oscar De La Hoya had to say, and I'm going to get back to the Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? Something I didn't put in the thumbnail because I'm just like bewildered. I'm bewildered at where Shakur Stevenson has turned off the road. Like, he's everywhere right now. He's erratic. You know what I'm saying? He called Oscar De La Hoya and William Cepeda fake Mexicans. So let's listen to what Oscar De La Hoya had to say about the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight.
Time of the week again. Time for the only segment in boxing that gives you the facts and makes you laugh.
No, that's not what I want to do. I just want to tease y'all a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I could care less what he said about Mike Tyson and Jake Paul being scripted, because we already know it was scripted. But for me, I want to talk about how a legend like Oscar De La Hoya, he is a legend like Oscar De La Hoya can put this information out there about fighters not stepping up to the plate and taking risk. Come on, y'all. This is not something that he's just hating on the younger fighters. Oscar De La Hoya said the reason why boxing is in a state of disaster that it is because these young fighters are not willing to step up and take risks. They don't have it heart to heart, fist to fist. They don't have it within themselves, outside of trash talking on social media, to go out here and risk it. You know what I'm saying? And I thought he made a very solid point about that. Everybody want to look at Oscar De La Hoya, of how he is today and what they know. Man, you need to let that go, because Oscar De La Hoya was a problem back in the day. He was a problem. And him making a point about these fighters, it's going to get real dirty at the end of the day. It's going to get extremely dirty when people start calling these fighters for what they are. And the conversation should be just right here. Mike Tyson, once again, he went viral for calling David Benavidez the Mexican monster, right? But Mike Tyson should also go on record is when he made the statement that you should eat with your brother. If that's your brother, you should eat with your brother, right? That's what Mike Tyson said. I mean, some of the true words that you ever hear. If that's your brother, eat with your brother. I guess my people, in a sense, haven't learned how to eat with one another in business. And what I mean when it comes to boxing, a lot of these fights are predetermined. A lot of these fights can go in there to the point where you can go in a fight knowing that a loss is not going to bother you, but the money is going to satisfy you. You know what I'm saying? It was one point in time where I said that Errol Spence should have fought Jermell Charlo, won the undisputed titles, and then lost in the rematch. It wouldn't have served no difference to Errol Spence. It wouldn't have lowered his appraising value as a fighter. But we have fighters today coming into the sport, friends. They want to be Build-A-Bears. You know how kids used to go up to Build-A-Bears and they used to have bears built similar to one another, and just because they was able to do something together constructively, they thought that was so important, yo. You know, say, oh man, look at my Build-A-Bear. These kids, I got Build-A-Bear, and every time you saw them, they got that bear in tow, right? They best buddies. So I believe when I hear Oscar De La Hoya say what he said, I say he made a solid point. Now, is that the encompassing, the overall problem with boxing? No, but I believe he made a solid point when he put it out there. You know what I'm saying? What he was getting at. So let me go through this article right quick, and so we can kind of get to this. All right. So Oscar De La Hoya, it's the fighters who are killing the sport. De La Hoya has said that the fighters aim for the poor health of boxing. On his weekly clapback Thursday social media segment, De La Hoya told his 1.2 million followers on Instagram that he felt like Jake Paul, Mike Tyson spectacle was scripted, adding that it was a horrible fight. It was just awful. It was wishful thinking for all those idiots who thought they were going to get Mike Tyson in the 90s come out and rip somebody's head off. De La Hoya, however, gave credit to Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. Credit for putting on an incredible fight, but he captioned his most stable boxing is dead. But who is to blame? He tagged Canelo, Mike Tyson, and Jake Paul. Boxing has been in hibernation, said Hall of Fame fighter turned promoter. It's like a sleeping bear. Boxing has been the most popular sport since the beginning of time. Lately been Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor, who fought in the ring, knocked the octagon, because boxing is king. But we have to get our shit together. And quote, fighters are not daring to be great. And we are stuck accepting mediocre fights. Look like a fighter and now promoter, knowing the ins and outs because I'm in it. I have to say, it's the fighters who are killing the sport. People try to blame the promoters or the manager or the trainers. No, it's the fighters. I was one. And I can tell you that if my camp urged me to fight someone and I wanted to fight someone else, we were going to fight who I wanted to fight. Fighters don't think they're getting paid enough, or they're scared of taking an L. For example, back in the day, Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward weren't the most popular fighters and weren't getting paid the most during their time. But we respect them today because they fought their hearts out and came back for another day. The UFC fighters, they get paid peanuts and they go out on a shield. The fight like MFers, but in boxing, we know the outcome of the big fights these days before the fights even start. Look at the Canelo fight. And look, I'm looking at this paragraph, right? The last two that I read. And it holds some relevance to it. Real talk. It is profound in many different ways because he's talking about from when he was fighting if he wanted to fight a fighter, they allow him to go in the direction that he felt he wanted to go in, right? But check this out. Some of these fighters going in their direction is far away from who they truly need to fight. They might want to fight this person, but they need to fight that person. You know what I'm saying? He said, I wanted to fight somebody else. We were going to fight who I wanted to fight. Fighters today don't think they're getting paid enough, or they're scared of taking an L. For example, and he gave Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward. See, what I've known in this era is that a lot of these fighters are not willing to fight like the Mickey Wards and the Arturo Gattis. See, you think a fighter needs knockout power and to be going, to go in there and use a combination and allow there to be some controversy. But no, you need an active, engaging fighter. We have those fighters in the sport today, but it seems like it's such a popularity contest and a talent show that they seem not to include these fighters' name in their boxing debates. It's a lot of active, entertaining fighters out here that's willing to fight anybody. But you have to look at it like, okay, everybody gets their turn. My problem is the fighters that are in the ranking system. You've did everything you're supposed to do, especially those who went to the Olympics. You work your way, climb the rungs of the boxing rankings to get yourself into a position where you can actually see a name of a fighter that the fans will potentially want to see you match up against. We went at 135. We went from hearing the 4 or 5 kings, right, to now having the 3 or 4 bosom buddies. We have a very tempting and salivating 135 pounds, but we have fighters who are very talented. Not only that, but you look at their age and they're youthful enough to be competitive along with their skills. We have the Dula Masons, the Floyd Schofields, the Keyshawn Davis. I want to say Andy Cruz, but I don't know how old he really is. Truth be told, I don't know. Andy Cruz can be 38 and a half years old. I don't know, but I'm just going to put him in out of respect. You have the Andy Cruzes. Yeah, the Keyshawns, the Tanks, the Shakur Stevensons. You have a plethora of fighters out of the division that is extremely impactful. But the only way it's going to explode is that these fighters have to let the friendship go and stop playing with our emotions. Now, if you take the age and you think about the forecast on where these fighters are at now and where they plan to go, we can assume they're moving up at least 2 more divisions. 140, 147, okay? Depending on where they've been, all right? My biggest issue with, Oscar saying the fighters are ruining the sport is because I can agree with him 50-50, so to speak. But I look at the friendship aspect of it as being a turnoff. If you're going to be in the vision and you want to establish legacy, so you're willing to basically compromise that legacy by your own decision making by saying, if I pick up a belt, let's just say Keyshawn pick up the belt of the WBO. He has Lomachenko, Gervonta Davis, and Shakur Stevenson. That's if they still there during that time. So let's just say Lomachenko is there. Am I going to feel some type of way if Keyshawn goes after Lomachenko? I'm not. You know why? Because he has a belt. They allow Lomachenko to go over there and fight a former champion in Cambozo, clown around for some rounds, and get stopped and want to be out theatrical. Hey, get your fighter, get your. Lomachenko is champion again. And Lomachenko gets champion, then he punches his passport and go on boxing vacation. But if Keyshawn fights Lomachenko, I'm fine with it. I don't care about his age because he's a champion. He's a champion. Now, it gets very, very interesting. I tell people this about Gervonta all the time. One thing I don't have to say about him is that he really ain't trying to be your friend. And he's made it perfectly clear. The only one that's really been trying to be in Gervonta's good graces, but yet was his freaking opposition, his adversary, his foe, was Ryan Garcia. And that didn't last long. I mean, they made their money together. They may potentially rejoin and make money together. But you don't see Tank out here just using these words. And look, I'm not saying that this fight would never happen. The fight I'm talking about is two of the youngest that's in the game with Olympic pedigree. And their names up in the sport for legacy, trying to make the most money possible. And it's Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis. You have to understand one thing. If you all are going to be on the same track on the drill field, track means you're on this. When we was on track with the female battalion, that means we was on the same training schedule because we have cycles. You know what I'm saying? We have cycles. So sometimes we was on track with a freaking female battalion when that was actually a thing down there at PI. From training day 1 all the way to the final. Sometimes you will be on track with a female battalion, but these guys right here are on track to basically transition from division to division. If Keyshawn is planning to do something special, which far exceeds the Norfolk, I have no issues with him in Norfolk, Virginia. He did an amazing job, freaking amazing job, yo. I mean, when you talk about, you know, a black fighter coming in here, putting his family on, it seems like everything is professional, clean, organized, amicable. I like that shit. I do. I can respect what Keyshawn did at his age. You know what I'm saying? But I have a huge but in between that division. When I hear Shakur Stevenson out here calling Oscar De La Hoya and Williams to pay the fake Mexicans. But you turn around and you Puerto Rican and black, and you can't even see the big picture. You have Edgar Berlanga, who they say is not even Puerto Rican. He wasn't even born in Puerto Rico. And he gets Puerto Rican love like it's crazy. I tell black fighters, in order for you to cater to the Mexican fan base, which is one of the most largest loyal fan bases in boxing, you might want to learn some Espanol. Espanol is like a first language. And my people may not feel that it's important to do that, but yet they're going to keep on sitting up here finger pointing and sending rounds down range to their own fan base. Nobody knows what the black fan base is when it comes to boxing. No one really knows. We just know, and within the community, we have certain people, you know, like in this small community, YTC. I mean, who really knows what the black fan base is? But when you say Mexican, when you say Latino fan base, everybody knows they don't discredit it. So when you're a black fighter, you have to understand that the Mexicans are going out here daring to be great and fighting one another, right? So it's just another um tale, another enhancement for a fighter to pretty much kind of learn a little Espanol like freaking Bruce Carrington. Bruce Carrington is obviously brushing up on his Spanish so he can cater to the Mexican fan base too, because we really don't know what the black fan base consists of. Back to what I was saying though, when it comes to Keyshawn Davis and Shakur Stevenson potentially being champions in the same division, I'm going to assume that they're going to throw away millions if they never fight. I'm going to assume that the behavior patterns that we see in Shakur Stevenson, him being irritated all the time, that's only the beginning. Real talk. Watch what I'm telling you. That's only the beginning. You know why it's the beginning? I said this the other night. Because it's going to come a time and a place that Shakur is going to be in the shadow of Keyshawn Davis if he doesn't step it up in his fight performances. He's going to be in the shadow of Keyshawn Davis. I guarantee it. And you know how he said he don't fuck with Hitchison like that? I don't care how many of y'all black men and fighters are over there at B&B. I don't care. That's them over there training fighters in the same weight division. People have to get paid. You all going to continue to grow and grow and grow and avoid one another? The fans are going to start calling for Keyshawn to fight Shakur Stevenson to fight Keyshawn Davis. That's what they're going to call for continuously. Shakur shows up and people in the room perk up a little bit. Hey, Shakur on deck, Shakur on deck. But you're in Norfolk, Virginia. That's Keyshawn's footprint, right? And if y'all didn't pay attention, all eyes was on Keyshawn, Calvin, and Keon. Keyshawn is doing something that a lot of fighters are not doing. Of course, not every fighting family, you know what I'm saying, has two brothers that is in the game. But let me tell you right here, right now, November 23rd, 2024, it's okay to be respectful, you know, especially amongst my people. It's okay, but y'all in a combat sport, full contact sport that consists of business. And the business is you pick up a championship fight, you are now 1/4 of the sanctioning champions that are in 135-pound division. And one of those names just happened to be a man that you consider your friend, your brother. And look, I think it was Gooch who said it the other night, I think. It's DB3. It's not DB3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's DB3. And y'all don't forget what I told you. It's gonna come a point in time, just like we seen in Norfolk, Virginia. Chris Stevens is going to be in the shadow of Keyshawn because Keyshawn's thought process to this boxing game expands way broader than what Shakur Stevenson has going on. I'm telling you. Keyshawn has a broader vision. His lens way larger. His zoom angle way longer than freaking Shakur Stevenson. He's absolutely one of the boxers who is living by his alias, Business Key. He's doing business. Now, I don't know what the numbers are looking like behind the scene on what he's able to do with his brothers. I don't know if one of his other two brothers will ever exceed, you know, what he has going on. And we haven't really seen the potential of Keyshawn Davis. It said in the 2000s, boxing had Mayweather, and it became boring and defensive for a decade. And the most recent, we have Canelo, who is the most boring but most popular. So just think about this. Just think about this, right? Keyshawn picks up a belt. No one's really saying anything. He go and fights Lomachenko. So he would have fought Baranchik and Lomachenko. I'm just giving you a scenario base. You know what I'm saying? Hypothetics, right? Hypothetics. And he becomes unified champion just like Shakur did at 130. Now it gets to the even larger decisions. Are you going to stay at 135 and fight Tank? Because you're saying you can beat Tank. Keyshawn saying he can beat Tank, right? Let's just say, for instance, because I don't see that happening right now. So I'm going to take Tank out the equation. Let's say Tank somehow, some way gets older overnight and say, I want to go to 140. It's time. I'm going to campaign at 140 right now. Even though he's been there, but I'm going to campaign there. Let's just say either Shakur Stevenson picks up Tank's freaking WBA, his old WBA belt, or Keyshawn Davis. Let's just say Keyshawn Davis becomes the 3-belt unified champion at 135 pounds. And his family, his mother, and everybody else. Check this out, people. Because I don't want to hear y'all up here goddamn cuffing freaking Kleenex boxes. I don't want to see y'all running around here all angry. Keyshawn get 3 belts at 135 pounds. I guarantee you. Calvin, Keon, mama, sister, friends, aunt, uncles, grandma, granddaddy. Hey, Keyshawn, you need to call out Shakur Stevenson. Hey, Keyshawn. Hey, you need to, it's your time. It's your time. You the only one have grown at 135 pounds. You passed Shakur Stevenson up. Look, let me tell you what my people gonna say. Hey, man, fuck friendship. You need to fight Shakur Stevenson. You understand that, Keyshawn? Hey, Keyshawn. Hey, we in this business. Business. We here to make money. Forget all that friendship. And you know why it's imperative that y'all understand how important that is? Because that was the same thing Shakur did to Jamel Herring. So goddamn it, I don't want to hear that bullshit right now when it comes to Keyshawn Davis, because you just 2 freaking events away from being in Keyshawn's freaking shadow. You look, you're 2 with Keyshawn. You're 2 fight nights away, or even 1, depending on how he looking here as Baranchik, from being in Keyshawn's shadow. And you know what these boxing fans are gonna do, Shakur Stevenson? They're gonna remind you that they're boxing fans. They're gonna remind you of how disloyal and weathery they are. They're gonna remind you quick in a hurry, bro. Because Shakur Stevenson, what goes around comes around, homie. And you did the same thing to Jamel Herring, a person that respected you and everything else. And what you do to him, you wanted his belt. Keyshawn should return the favor. And I almost guarantee you, Keyshawn don't return the favor, he's gonna lose a lot of fans. And also he's gonna deny himself from earning a very lucrative paycheck, especially if he unifies in the 135 pound division. So just think about what Shakur Stevenson did to Jamel Herring and ask him, did he give a damn about friendship? Keyshawn has too many black people around him that understands what his quest is for him not to take this fight. And that's what we have with boxing. We got too many people, too many cats up here talking about friendship. No, Shakur, I don't want to hear that friendship shit. When Jamel Herring was working in the same gym, y'all was training on the same banner and all that, man, I was there at the fight. I saw how you was fucking with him. I was there at the fight. I saw how you was trash talking that man in the ring when he was all bloody and swollen and and beaten up. Yeah, you was talking mad shit, and this was supposed to be someone. And Jamel Herring is a good dude, bro. He's a good dude. Shakur didn't care nothing about that. So all you Keyshawn, all you Shakur fans. I'm not saying at one point in time I did rock with Shakur heavy, but things changed. Just like Shakur said, F the fans, well, F friendship too, because you only two fights away from being in Keyshawn's shadow, and you have more divisions than he do. He go ahead and get this belt and continue to put on a show. His personality drowns you. It dilutes anything you have going on, Stevenson. Keyshawn has a way better freaking bravado than Stevenson. Yeah, sometimes Keyshawn get on here and it seems like he's crashing out a little bit. But personality wise, the way he addresses the media and all that shit, he too have to understand that he can't sit up here and say F the fans. You can't say that shit. But when it comes to Keyshawn and Shakur Stevenson, there's no way that they're going to go their entire boxing career and not fight one another and they're picking up belts. There's no way. And then the one that is freaking avoiding the other and limiting themselves, because let's be honest, Keyshawn is going to go minimal up to 147. Minimal. He's not going to be a 135 pounder his whole career. But you've seen the beginning of it at Norfolk. I did. You've seen the beginning of it. You've seen the beginning of it, bro. All this friendship is lottie dottie. We like to party. We go build a bear. We don't bother nobody. We just on the mic, just like Scotty. All that shit is going away. Give Keyshawn a championship and another big name fight at 135, and he's gonna become a cloud cover for Shakur Stevenson. And they're gonna and the fight fans are gonna start calling for him to fight Shakur because nobody gives a damn about that friendship you talking about. Talking about that fight would never happen. You sound crazy. You're trying to make millions and millions of dollars, and Keyshawn up here showing you how the business, works and everything. He's showing you how to put on your family because, it keeps money coming internal to the family. But we got one that's out here just crashing out and more concerned about the YTC. Let's get to the next, with Shakur Stevenson, what he said. Shakur Stevenson calls out William Cepeda, Golden Boy, fake Mexicans. Shakur Stevenson trashed Golden Boy and William Cepeda today on social media instead of starting up negotiations for a fight in February. In a sign of how desperate Shakur is, he said he would agree to fight Cepeda in a small 18-foot ring. He also labeled Golden Boy and Cepeda fake Mexicans. Chasing the big tuna, they say. This is Boxing News 24. Shakur has been counting on that fight happening next. But it looks like Golden Boy and Cepeda are waiting on a bigger prize. Look what I just said, a bigger prize. A bigger prize. The big tuna, Gervonta Tank Davis. They're working on a bigger prize. Right now, Shakur, if you don't see the play, with 3 divisions, you're becoming the Rodney Dangerfield of 135-pound division. You're going to be going around here, man, I can't believe it. I get no respect. I'm Shakur Stevenson. I get no respect. I'm Puerto Rican and black, and I got 2 sides of the family. The worst thing, once again, you speak impulsively. Even though Puerto Ricans don't call themselves Mexicans, you're speaking impulsively. You should be trying to cater and build up your fan base. You should be thinking about what fight can I fight next? What challenges can I be a part of? You know what I'm saying? But no, you have William Cepeda and you believe it's locked in. And just because they don't show you the respect that you think or believe you deserve, you calling them fake Mexicans. You call them fake Mexicans. Anyway, going on. Cepeda and Golden Boy can earn loads of money in the fight with Tank. That's all I need to say about that. We already know that. WBC lightweight champion Shakur, 22 victories and 0 defeats, 10 knockouts, has been pushing real hard for number one contender Cepeda, 32-0, 27 knockouts, to begin negotiations for a fight with him since the 10-round split decision victory over Tevin Farmer last Saturday at Latino Night in Riyadh. Cepeda mentioned last Saturday that other champions are mentioning his name, and we want to make the best deal. The guy that Cepeda and Golden Boy are likely waiting on is Gervonta Davis, the king of the lightweight division. The lure of pay-per-view gold, PPV gold, a fight between Cepeda and Tank might bring in over 1 million pay-per-view buys and make both fighters tons of money. So people, let's address this, right? How is it possible that a projection, I know this is just an article, but why would anybody believe it potentially would bring over 1 million pay-per-view buys? Because Cepeda himself, a lot of people know who he is, but he's not really the household name where he's fought incredible competition. And, you know, he's been just out here doing interview after interview. He has a record that looks good along with the knockouts. And he's in a position where he can be selective. He can pick and choose. Shakur Stevenson believes he's in a position to pick and choose, but no one's choosing him. It's not like they haven't decided, wanted to fight Shakur, because Shakur is not a bum or none of that. It's just he's trying to convince people that if I say F the fans and I'm going to fight how I want to fight and do what I want to do, and I don't care what you think, well, fans are going to Michael Jackson and moonwalk they ass to another fighter. It's not going to be a thriller type of event. It goes on to say, with Cepeda's popularity with Mexican fans and his crossover appeal, a fight between him and Tank would be massive. Tank has a fight on March 1st to get out the way, first against Lamont Roach, but that's easy work. It won't be a great deal for him if Golden Boy began negotiations with PBC now for the Tank versus Cepeda. That's a match that could happen in the summer of 2025. Shakur's tweet, yo, make a war. What's the word? It's been quiet on y'all end. Let's make this fight happen. Let's lock this fight in. I think all y'all are soft. Y'all are so scared for the boy to get in the ring with me. You was talking real big in the interview. That's talk fake Mexicans. Interview, talk that fake Mexicans, right? So, and look, I don't blame Shakur Stevens for calling them out, but the string, it's the difference between you having somebody in tow and you have a legitimate, rig, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? You have thick rope, one of the weight. So when you pull on the distant end of that rope, they can feel it. Right now, Shakur Stevens, to be honest, you're trying to pull the interest from William Cepeda with dental floss. I'm not gonna lie to you. Shakur is trying to use dental floss and some freaking electric tape to pull the interest of William Cepeda for a fight. And that's unfortunate that he has to do that with 3 divisions to his name. But when you go in there and look the way you did against Toka Conclari, Jeremiah Nakatilia, and Edwin De Los Santos, and then you look a certain way against Artem, people looking at you like, I don't know if I truly think that Shakur Stevenson is about taking risks. I don't know if he's willing to go in there without looking like he's overprotective about keeping his O and stand undefeated. We don't know if Shakur has PTSD of getting hurt, because look, check this out. Terrence Crawford has went through adversity and shown that he's a motherfucking tenacious. He's a tenacious freaking fighter when he's in the core of adversity, right? Andre Ward has been through adversity, gotten off the canvas, and still shown he's a tenacious fighter when they're in adversity. They understand what they need to do. But Shakur may have these two individuals at his flank. But he's not willing to listen the way he should, in my opinion. I think with Shakur, he feel like 3 divisions is all he needs. It's okay to know the sport you're in. It's okay to have knowledge of it, to be somewhat like an educated, a technically inclined fighter when it comes to knowing how to go in there and fight different opponents and be able to collect the data and make the adjustments, right? But Terrence Crawford was trying to tell you that you was moving your feet, but you weren't letting your hands go. And it seems like you was still coming back and trying to explain to him or what you was doing. You was trying to somewhat counter what Crawford was telling you in your fight with Artem. And then even Andre Ward was telling you some information. And it seems like you wasn't being 100% receptive to it. So you're at a point right now calling them fake Mexicans. It's the fear factor is not there. You know what I'm saying? I don't see Joe Rogan here, yo. If you know what I mean, you know, the old host of Fear Factor. I don't see the fear factor there, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it, man. I don't get it yet. Like, I don't get how you're not understanding that people don't see you as a dangerous fighter. They feel like your words is the only thing they believe. Shakur Stevenson words, I don't care how people look at me or what they want. I'm going to fight the way I want. F the fans. Now, you being Puerto Rican and black, you're saying fake Mexicans. When Mexican fan base is proven that they have a larger solidarity than most. You know what I'm saying? And we really can't go off you and the black fight fans, because the black fight fans is like an adoption agency. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what the fuck you getting. It's like an orphanage. For real. You don't know what the fuck you dealing with. Must come up with the craziest examples as to why they're not supporting this fighter, that fighter. We have a black heavyweight champion. Nah, that ain't enough. We want him gone. We don't support him. Oh, he got skinny legs. He's this. He's that. He's not technically sound. But yeah, he's 43 victories and 42 knockouts. But he just, you know what I'm saying? I mean, my people is my people at the end of the day. But when it comes to you, Shakur, you have Keyshawn Davis that is, in my opinion, he's already eclipsing a bit of your sunlight. And that's a fact. That's a pure, legitimate fact. It goes on to say on X, you'll tag these scary Mexicans. Mexicans usually got a lot of heart. These dudes are so scared. Any ring they want will be good with me for the 50th time. And he's up here responding to El Chicano. The truth can never be considered disrespect. So is 18 by 18 okay? People up here believing that you're going to make fights and make arrangements for rings, you know what I'm saying, online. This is a 3-division former unified champion. But yet you're online trying to make a fight in X. I thought you said that you don't give a F about the fans. So if you don't give a F about the fans, why would you even respond to these so-called boxing fans that don't give a F about you? That shit don't make no sense to me, Shakur. You giving an F. What's up with y'all fighters anyway? Like the ones that don't give a F about you and be talking crazy. You want to respond to them. You want to show them the LOVV, VV, VV, parlez-vous vidi? Love. You know what I'm saying? You want to show them cats the main love, but the cats that's really supporting you, sincerely, genuine, organically, rocking with you, y'all say they dick ride. They say they dick ride, y'all. Somebody better tell Keyshawn to wake up. Somebody better tell Keyshawn to wake up and fight freaking Shakur Stevenson. Because like I said before, November 23rd, 2024, let Keyshawn Davis pick up a belt, and some belts, plural. And let's see how this friendship works. Let's see who will be jumping up to 140. Let's see how strong this friendship is, just like Shakur did my boy Jamel Herring. You know what I'm saying? My comrade, my brother in arms. Let's see if y'all gonna think this shit is gonna ride. Nobody trying to hear that bullshit. Ain't nobody trying to hear that bullshit. You opened the door. You supposed to be a respectable freaking friend with Jamel Herring, but yeah, you up here getting crazy, disrespecting the man, had rapport with his wife. Good people, bro. You didn't care about none of that. You wanted his belt. Keyshawn should do the same thing. Keyshawn should do the same thing. Forget all this. We're two Olympian. My buddy, your buddy. Olympians to the end of time. We're gonna do it our way all the time. My buddy, silver medalist. Nobody want to hear that goofball shit. Keyshawn is 2 events away from people saying that he got more shine, he's more entertaining than you, Shakur Stevenson. And they're going to start telling that he can beat you, Shakur Stevenson. They already think he's more entertaining than you. You know what I'm saying? They already think he's more entertaining than you are. He has a much better personality than you do. It seems like every time you see Shakur, man, he mad. At least with Keyshawn, if he is mad, he can put on the front and smile it up a little bit and just don't let it be shown on the exterior. His personality is there. Keyshawn can be comical when he selects to. He can be professional. He can talk his shit. You know what I'm saying? But I still stand on the Keyshawn. You ain't beating Tank. You ain't beating Tank right now. But a person that you should focus on and will probably get you closer to freaking Tank Davis is your buddy. Your Olympic buddy. When I think of silver medals, I think of my friend Shakur. When I think of Olympic pedigree, I think of my friend Shakur. Sing along. La da 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 da. No, that shit about to go down the drain. Down the drain. Because y'all are 2 names in boxing that we know. Y'all are 2 names in boxing that people want to see fight one another. And they're going to turn on you all as quick as you want them to in your head. You all are thinking about when the fans are going to start calling for this fight. You're thinking about it all the time. And God damn it, it's going on as we speak. Watch what I tell you. Shakur walking in the room in Norfolk, Virginia, I know he felt that Norfolk energy. I know he was like, I don't kind of feel this way in goddamn Newark. Shit, man. Keyshawn got this motherfucker lit. I mean, look. Keyshawn had it sparkling up in there like a disco ball back in the day. You know what I'm saying? When he walked in that motherfucker, man, people was lined up. Shit. I mean, the energy was just vibing out, bro. Now, for you other fighters that's going to hear this, you know what I'm saying? I know the views. You know what I'm saying? I know some people, they look at the views, but I do believe intentionally that voices can be heard regardless, and word of mouth. Believe me when I tell you that calling Mexican fake Mexicans is not going to get you a fight with a Mexican any faster, because that Mexican that you are trying to select has their sights on another boxer who they believe that can make them more money. You have to understand, when you don't give a F about the fans, we are deemed the consumers there, Shakur Stevenson. We are the ones who pay for those tickets and pay-per-views. We are. So regardless of where you're trying to maneuver, when you say fake Mexicans, when you say they scared, they're fraud, man, don't nobody believe that shit no more in boxing, bro. It's a changing of the guard. You got the social media generation on deck. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody believing all that. Oh man, you scared. No, they trying to get the money. And it's gonna come a time when you, Stevenson, and you, Keyshawn, one of y'all gonna have to goddamn understand the power of business and boxing and call one another out. And I think the first one, look, I could be wrong, because Shakur has already, stabbed Jamel Herring in the back before for a title. Don't get it twisted, Keyshawn, that he won't do you the same way. He already did it to Jamel Herring, somebody he respected. He had to get the title, Keyshawn. You get that WBO title, man, I guarantee you. All this, we won't fight each other, we won't fight it, man. Don't believe that shit, bro. I want to see the fight. I don't want to see my black fighters and shit, my black people up here being friends with one another in a business where they supposed to be basically maximizing their monetary value as a fighter. And the only way you do that is step in there with the big names. Now, Abdullah Mason has said he'll fight. We know the Floyd, the Schofields will fight. We know that. They ain't on that other shit. But I'm just saying, you have two Olympic silver champions that's in the same division. And they're up here ripping the violin with the same tune, talking about, I'm not fighting. That fight will never happen. Get out of here. Shakur already told you. Shakur has already told you there, Keyshawn. I mean, he's already shown you that he'll stab you in the back. And Keyshawn, he got enough black people around him that's all about the business side. They're going to tell you, hey, Keyshawn, I understand that's your boy and all that, but guess what? How many people have we seen that was chilling with him? There's no. How many? Come on, man. They're gonna, and look, Keyshawn's people gonna mention the same thing I just mentioned. They're gonna bring up Jamel Herring. Hey, he did the shit to Jamel Herring. Why y'all up here trying to be bosom buddies and shit? This is boxing. And Shakur and Keyshawn fighting, both of them will earn over $1 million. They will. Absolutely. As champions, both of them will earn over $1 million. Absolutely. You want to talk about getting $1 million bag? Yes, both of them will get over $1 million. And also, they have every bit competitive spirit, talent, notoriety in the sport to build up a rivalry. They can build up a rivalry. See, another thing about my black fighters, right, is that y'all niggas don't want to fight each other twice. I mean, Crawford Spence was right there for the taking, contract signed, sealed, and delivered. All these cats crying that Crawford need to sign a 2-fight deal, and then the primary fighter that they was hoping to be the beneficiary of the undisputed didn't happen. So now they ain't talking about that shit no more. But he was locked in for a rematch. Why don't the black fighters need a rematch? I mean, why they're not trying to go for a rematch? We need to see this rematch. We need to see that. To make that money, we need to build some rivals. Canelo, Gennady Golovkin. They fought 3 times. Yeah, the first 2 was the best. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about 2 black fighters fighting twice. Who are big names? Who has fought? Who did Jamel Charlo fight? He fought Tony Harrison only to get his belt back. Okay? That was a semi-rivalry if it wouldn't have ended up in a knockout. He had to fight Tony Harrison twice. So how far in between you have to search for black fighters to fight one another twice, to get that check twice? Where are they at? I mean, really, you got to ask yourself, where are these black fighters at? We have very limited black fighters that's holding down belts. Exclude 75, exclude 68, exclude 60. 54, how many black champions? Okay, then. What about 47? 2 black champions? Okay. What about 40? What about 40? Don't get quiet. How many black champions at 140? How many? And then we go to 35. How many black champions again? We can say 2. What about 30? So what I'm trying to tell you is that the hourglass is goddamn dwindling quick. We don't have a lot of damn divisions with black champions. That shit that happened with Spence and Crawford, that tells you how special that shit was. Let me get to this chat. Shout out to the News by Shaw News Sauce Experience in the building. What's good? Look at Champ 5. This was Gleason's, Devin Haney, Garcia fight week. Okay. All right. Stickum Boys Fishing and Sports. What's good? Salute. Swat Jones in the building. What's good with you, big dog? I see you. Mr. International Toby Bartlett in the building. What's good with it, Toby? Arnold Brown in the building. Salute WCS in the hottest chat in the YTC. We're global, baby. We're global. No doubt about it, man. Mike in the building. Man, shout out to It's Inevitable. D-Town. Boxing is on deck. What's good with you? What's good? Y'all definitely check out D-Town, man. Check out the News by Shaw News. Check these channels out. Turkey wants to see more 50-50 fights and doesn't mind paying good money for those fights. And he have the fighters back if they put on a good show. And that's my whole deal with where we at right now as black fighters, right? It's not that many divisions. So you got to build up rivals, right? You got to build up rivals. Sometimes people want to see black fighters. That, you know, for a long time, they were saying Al Heyman. And if you look at it, it seems like they was telling the truth. He doesn't really concur with signing black fights. You know what I'm saying? He'd rather sign a Mexican black fighter or Mexican versus Mexican, right? But at the end of the day, when you have two competitive, two high-ranking black fighters, it is cool. And it's esprit de corps. It brings up the morale to see two competitive black fighters clash. And then if they fight each other again, cool, in an immediate rematch, or they go on to fight a Mexican fighter, European fighter, whatever the case may be. But we got too many black fighters that want to come in here like they hanging out on the block. No, you got to fight each other, goddammit. And just like I said, Shakur, he fought Jamel Herring, no problem. Keyshawn, you understand how that works, right? You understand how that works, Keyshawn. You got some very intelligent-minded people in your corner that understands what the business is. You have your brothers on deck. You get it. I think Keyshawn is definitely, he pick up a couple of titles at 35. I almost assure you that some conversations are going to be had, and he's going to call Shakur Stevenson out, and poof, goes that friendship. And it's stupid because why can't you compete against each other and still maintain friendship? Why? I mean, after all the shit that went down with Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford still showed a level of professionalism and respect. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to TGB in the building, Tough Glove Boxing. WCS salute fam in the hottest chat in the game. I appreciate you, bro. Salute to you. Definitely check out TGB Tough Glove Boxing on deck. The OG Bruce Gas and more. Salute to you, man. Definitely check out Bruce Gas Boxer Jazz and more, man. Definitely back with the veterans, the double, triple OGs back in the day that was boxing. Definitely check him out, man. Jones say you cooking. I agree. Key about to surpass Shakur. Shakur and all that French stuff gone wear off. I don't think Key will stay feeling the same about Shakur if he keep winning. I'm with you, WCS. I appreciate you. That's all I'm trying to say, bro. We seen Shakur freaking fight Jamel Herring, which was a friend. I was there. I seen the disrespect at the face off. How Shakur kept on, taunting him and stuff like that. While his wife was standing up there like, damn, this dude right here, man, come on. It was respect. And now you just up here disrespecting my husband. Not only husband, but she looking at it like I'm a military spouse. He's a U.S. Marine. You know what I'm saying? Went to combat, dealt with tragedy in his freaking family, losing his kid. But it didn't matter to Shakur Stevenson, bro. So now you're slowly but surely looking at how he's self-destructing. He's always got to go at somebody and dog him out. It has nothing to do with his talent. But Shakur Stevenson continues to win. Keyshawn Davis continued to win. But Keyshawn looks better than Shakur. And let's just say Keyshawn picks up another belt. Let's see how much support that Shakur is going to be given, because Shakur people are going to tell him, hey, man, it's time for you to leave that nigga alone, bro, until the end of time. Because right now, he's getting more. He got the juice. He's getting more liked than you, Shakur. And you can see it. People are gravitating more to Keyshawn Davis than Shakur. But Shakur's up here calling the Mexicans fake. I don't get how you call them a fake Mexican, because they haven't locked in a fight with you. They have choices. The man is undefeated with 30 professional wins. He has choices. He can be choosy. Wasn't they just saying, oh, William Cepeda, he's ranked across the board at 135 pounds. When you have somebody that has 4 options, it might not be that way right now, but he has 4 options. Let's just say, take away a sanctioned bout. He has 3 options. That's more than 1, right? So he can selectively choose. Can I get my paycheck? Can I get my paycheck with Tank? Just like they do Canelo. Fighters want to go in there and fight Canelo. I don't see y'all holding Canelo to a certain standard. He's scared. But to say that William Cepeda Mexican, man, William Cepeda, they're looking for the dinero. They're looking for the mucho dinero. They're looking for the cash, man. They could care less about trying to prove something to Shakur Stevenson. They don't care nothing about that shit, man. Conor Ben is fluent in Spanish because he grew up in Spain. And the Mexicans and Latino fans love it when they hear him speak Spanish. So you're right, WCS. A little Spanish is a must these days. Talk to him, Toby. Talk to him. Hey, when I went to other countries, I learned my share of Tagalog, Japanese, enough to the point where I can frequent the streets. I was dating Japanese women, Filipino, and had no problem communicating. For this genre, though, when you're talking about combat sports, getting paid, Spanish is like a first language. A lot. I don't know how much I try to tell the black people, even in life, you have foreigners who know English. They English at one certain point in time it might be a little choppy, but they know English enough for you to what? Translate what they're talking about. So that means they know 2 languages to your 1. Then you have some of these foreigners that know 3 to 4 languages. So if someone's coming over here speaking your language and it's a bit distorted, choppy, give them time. Give them time, they get it right. But what I'm saying for boxing, catering to the Mexican fight fans, they have proven to mass of boxing fans, a solid, huge community that like when, I mean, look, we see black fighters all the time wearing sombreros and freaking Mexican colors, the green, white, red, right? So you willing to wear the green, white, and red and put on their attire if you're in somewhere in a heavy Mexican presence, but yet you don't want to learn how to speak Spanish? Connor gets it, but a lot of people, if they didn't know, they would think Connor Ben was Mexican. He was Latino, whatever. Bruce Carrington gets it. Bruce Carrington get it. Give Shushu a little bit, because all I'm saying is, in your post fight, it's cool, especially for a black fighter, to speak English and speak Espanol to the fight fans. It's cool. Why? Because you're trying to show them that you're willing to do more to earn their freaking support when you have a fight coming up. That's all I'm saying, bro. I'm sad about it that shout out to Flex in the building. That could be made soon. Forward would be in the same weight class. This young fighters are blowing up. I'm saying it's a lot of, it's you have a I wouldn't call it a pack. They're not a pack, but you have a pretty respectable size group of young fighters that's coming up through these ranks. That's gonna be I say levitating around 30, 35, 40 for a good little minute. It's dependent, right? Within that, these fighters gonna have to go out there and try to make money. Like I think he mentioned Ford. I ain't gonna lie, Ford is an entertaining fighter to me. He an entertaining fighter to me. But looking at these fighters who are already at the top of the ladder, even Floyd Schofield, I got to give Floyd Schofield his credit for going in there, even though his dad ripped him, for going in there and just blasting out. He showed that he's willing to do that. Like Schofield is no chump, man. He's shown that he's willing to go in there and fight with his shield and use every weapon that he got, man. You know what I'm saying? He's shown that he ain't scared, bro. You know what I'm saying? When he got knocked down and post fight, somebody say, that's the first time you ever been on the canvas. Huh? Then somebody say, he slipped. He said, no, I ain't slipped. It was a knockdown. He hit me in the back of the head. I like Floyd Schofield's integrity, but I also like how, he got some work to do, but yet he has courage. God damn it. He has courage, bro. Shout out to Big Blunts and Boxing in the building. What they do, man. If Ben can come a winner, he will become a huge star. The time will tell. He got the win. Ben is at 47, whatever weight class he's trying to be in. I was happy that Conor Ben was able to clear his name. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm glad he was able to get that cleared up. But now I want to see him fighting some names in his division, 147 pounds. I don't see why he's freaking infatuated with Eubanks, who he was up there and dropping all those obscenities. Eubanks, who was up there smiling to I like this. It became weird quick. Don't nobody want to hear you like that shit, and y'all ain't about to fight. The man ended up popping positive because he was up there consuming boiled eggs a day, and it turned into clomiphene, supposedly. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. I truly believe Keyshawn, people will convince him to fight. Kerr, I get that feeling. Man, Keyshawn has too many people in his corner, including his mother, his brothers, and his sisters, that ain't gonna tell him. It's not gonna tell him, hey man, I know my people. F that friendship. Y'all got plenty of time. Y'all young. Y'all got plenty of time on the back end. You know how many people that came rivalries? They was cool with each other and they became rivals and made that money, and then they end up being friends again. If you're not mature enough to get that, then so be it. When you get older, in some cases you mature on some things. You say, hey, let me shake your hand. You know, how many fighters did Roberto Duran? I mean, come on, who just walked up? I mean, it was a lot of fighters back in the day that you didn't mess with. What about Mike Tyson biting off of Evander Holyfield? Is that reconcilable? Is that forgiveness? Is that forgiveness? He bit the man ear off, and they became, good friends. What about Riddick Bowe and Lennox Lewis? I mean, they didn't like each other at all. I wish that fight would have happened, but they're cordial. I wouldn't say they're eating out and having lunch when they see each other at a boxing event. Yeah, buddy, Key going to be a hot ticket in a few. He keep winning. People going to want to see his pressers and the fight. That's what you want in marketing. Shakur going to start seeming weak to Key as he grow. Hey, talk that. Look, long as you know I put the shit out there, bro. I don't have to say it twice with the hottest chat in the MFing game. They get it. I'm telling you, I saw it already. I saw the shit in Norfolk. When Shakur walked in there and shit like that, man, it was Keyshawn's on deck. It was Keyshawn's fam on deck. Man, Shakur was a visitor. He was a visitor, dog. Yes, speaking of press conference, he does know how to get the presser lit. He'll say little small stuff like, hey, when he talking to me, tell him to look at me when he talking to me. I want to see if he mean it. Tell him to look over here. You know what I'm saying? He'll say, oh, I'm gonna knock you out. I'm gonna do this. It's a difference because Keyshawn has shown that, hey, he's willing to mix it up. But Shakur get up there and say, okay, I'm gonna knock your ass out. People like, man, stop it, man. Oh man, I had a long workout the other day, man. My stomach hurt, man. Stop it. I can't laugh, man. I don't have time for a tearjerker, man. I don't want to get no hernia today, man. Stop telling no jokes, dog. Stop, dog. Stop, man. Come on. Somebody give me some water, man. This guy got me laughing. Oh man. Strength and conditioning. Is there any way we can go back there and stretch, man? That was a tearjerker right there. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, when people saying that Shakur can't go up there and use the same, they can say it with the same tone, but more people are gonna believe Keyshawn than they will Shakur Stevenson. If he said, man, I'm gonna knock your ass out. Shakur says it, people's like, come on now. Come on, man. Stop it. Come on, man. It's a time and a place for that, bro. It's kids in here. You know what I'm saying? We don't want the kids to start rolling on the floor, laughing and giggling and shit. You know what I'm saying? Kicking their feet up in the air, laughing like they from the country. We don't want that shit, bro. We don't want that shit, man. I'm telling you. Watch what I tell you, man. Give Keyshawn a couple more events at 135, and it's going to get real fuzzy. It's going to get real fuzzy. All it takes is some of you industry dudes that's out here doing media to ask the tough questions. Hey, Shakur, do you feel right now that Keyshawn's get more shine than you? Come on. Don't let me start mentioning names of some of you casters out here that's all about being messy. Come on. If you want to be messy, ask that question. Keyshawn, do you think at this point you have some superb performances, very entertaining, performance value? Do you believe that right now at 135 pounds, right? Do you think you're the best at 135? I mean, the questions are gonna start, bro. You might as well prepare yourself to answer them. Don't nobody want to hear, yeah, I'm the best, You know what I'm saying? I want Tank. No, hold up, brother. We're not talking about Tank. Do you think you're the best at 135? We didn't ask you to explain shit. Do you think you're the best? If he says yes, that means, for one, he's going to have to prove it. But two, Shakur champions that 135. Three, people are going to start to turn their head and have those sidebar conversations like, oh, this nigga feeling himself. Oh, Keyshawn's really feeling himself, huh? Oh, Keyshawn feeling himself. And then that's when you're going to hear the Twitter. Watch what I tell you. Bookmark this motherfucker, yo. Bookmark it. Bookmark it is different, bro. Trash talking is different. You know? See, if at 47, who friends at 47? Who? You don't hear no shit about no friends. Who friends, bro? Even Norman and Boots was sparring. Even I said back then, man, that shit ain't gonna last long if they're in the same division. Now look at them. You know, that shit is done, over. We're waiting to see if the contract gonna be signed for them two to clash. Ain't no friends in this shit. Or you have friends that's in different divisions. If you're at 35 and a friend of yours at 47 or 54, that's different. But when you're talking about the same weight class, okay, we on a whole different vibe, man, type shit. He could be a huge star. He will fight anyone. He will bring money with him too. So he should be able to get the fights he need. Hey, Conor Ben is not a boring fighter. I'm not gonna lie. And he can trash talk with anybody. He can trash talk with anybody. That's one thing that he can do. Conor Ben can trash talk with anybody. Keyshawn, the way Keyshawn trash talk you, he says it with like a little smirk on his face. You don't know if he's joking or serious. And then he tells you again, I'm gonna knock your ass out. I'm just letting you look over here. Don't look away. Hey, look, I'm talking to you. You're not me. Shakur Stevenson not doing what Keyshawn did in Norfolk. He's not doing what Terrence Crawford did in Omaha. You know, it's people that has ears, listening ears, right? For them to hear what I'm saying. This is going to be potential fight in the future. That I believe if Key is all about his business, he's going to see how much money he can make by going in there, beating Shakur Stevenson. And then also, it's going to come a point in time where if these industry content creators get some cojones, you know what I'm saying? They all about waddling around in messy mud, slinging type shit. You got to start building this shit up yourself. Ask them the tough questions. Say, hey, get the Ariel Helwani. I keep trying to give y'all the game. Get the Ariel Helwani type of question. How he proposed his question. Well, Shakur Stevenson, you familiar with every other champion in 135, right? Am I fair to say that? Okay, with those other three champions, there's Keyshawn Davis, who's really been on a tear lately. Is it fair to say that Keyshawn's, you know, him being a champion, you being a champion, same division, both silver Olympic champions, y'all will potentially fight? Is that fair to say? No. We friends. Let's be honest. If the fans start calling for it, and it's a lot of money behind it, when you say that that's a fight you want, huh, Shakur? I see where you at with it. That's all I'm trying to say. That's Keyshawn. I talked to Shakur the other week, and I proposed a question to him. You know, but both of y'all being champions and everything, is it fair to say? You know, he has that rise in inflection. Is it fair to say that you and Shakur may potentially fight each other which could potentially be a big fight? Yeah. I've been hearing people talk about it. They say they want that fight, but that's my friend. Yeah, he said the same thing. But you know, I said this. I'm being honest. I think you and Shakur would be a good matchup, and it will raise a lot of fight fan attention, and you will make a lot of money. Do you think that's a fight we could possibly see in 2025 near the end if everything works out great? Keyshawn, I don't know about that. You know, that's something long down the road, but it's not too long down the road if the money's right, right? That's what boxing is about. Boxing is a business. If you know he agrees to it with your fight, oh, did he agree to it? I kind of got the impression they agreed to it. I might be wrong. And see, that's how the shit start. Hey, don't get Ari Hawani on that shit. Ari Hawani will ask those questions where he has that rise, that falsetto. Am I correct to say that you definitely want to fight Shakur Stevenson if the money's right? If they offer you several $1 million to fight that, if they offer me $7 million, and see, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to trash talk. I'm not trying to start shit. I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to make you aware. Free consultation to say that it's a lot of money between you and Shakur. I'm telling you, watch, bro. Watch what I tell you. This shit is coming, and it's coming quick. It's coming quick. Could you imagine? I'm not going to score against my boy when I play his basketball team. Man, it's a difference between a team sport and a mano sport, a one-on-one, a 1v1. You have the thought process and the mental mindset to strategize for one. Who's the better thinker? Who has who is more durable? Who is more tenacious? Who has the heart, the courage? I'm telling you, it's gonna get there, bro. That's a good point. That's a solid point, though. People can get mad and they'll drop your DM saying you hating on Shakur. Man, get the fuck out my face. Because Shakur Stevenson did it to Jamel Herring. He did it to Jamel Herring, and he didn't care nothing about anything except getting that title. Right? And check this out. I can even be more petty to you fight fans that's listening. Right? Shakur is about to fight for the WBO. I mean, Keyshawn. Keyshawn's about to fight for the WBO. Go ahead, Keyshawn. Shakur Stevenson. Go ahead. He beat Baranchek. Go ahead. Revisit the same shit you did when you went over there and called out Jamel Herring. It's for the WBO, right? Your boy Keyshawn, why don't you go? Watch out, Keyshawn. You get that WBO title. Watch out now. I'm telling you. Watch out there, Keyshawn. Because goddamn Shakur Stevens has already went that road before. He already been down that road, man. You get a title. You get the right people asking them questions. Hey, man, they give you several million. I heard somebody say that, man, what they have is deeper than boxing. Man, get out of here, bro. Y'all are not blood brothers. It's DB3. And once again, DB3. DB 3. It's not 4, 5, 6. That's why you saw Troy Isley. He wasn't taking all them post-op pictures with them because Troy is his own brand. He's the transformer. He wasn't going to sit up there and they say, oh, DB3. Troy Isley is a part of DB3. That's my brother. He don't want to be a part of the DB3. The DB3 is what Keyshawn made it. And his brothers, DB3. Uno, dos, a tres. Ichi, mi son. That's where the 3 is. It's not 3 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's DB3. Shakur sees what DB3 got going on. Honestly, Cepeda versus Curry is 50-50. Tank, yeah, no doubt. I believe Stop Cepeda. He'll be here to get it. Chris with the tank. I believe Stop Cepeda. Yeah, for sure. El Chin Checker. Yeah, for sure. Virginia's not far from Jersey, and both cities that love boxing with some promoter, and it's the same division. Shakur Key should be a no-brainer, but Shakur wants to be friends. Key hungry. Hey, man. Hey, that hunger boy does something to you, right? It does. Hey, especially when you DB3. Say one more again. DB3. Not 3 plus 1, 2, 3. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you that shit's it's about to get real smooth. Like, because if these guys that's out here that love the messiness, that loves getting people on their channel and talking about other fighters and their pops and asking all these controversial questions, well, ask Keyshawn who him and Shakur Stevenson, especially if he picks up this WBO belt next, because Shakur already went that route before, if you want to be petty. So let's just see if he has the same taste buds to go over there and try to unify the 135-pound division. Key's going to find out real quick that he's been bamboozled, hoodwinked with this friendship shit. Watch what I tell you. One of them going to have to take a step up. And right now, Keyshawn is about to have Shakur Stevenson in the shadows. Watch. Don't go to Twitter calling Carissa Shields. Carissa, it's good that you and I have always been cool. You see what Key's doing to me. His people stabbed me in the back. And what you gonna hear there? That bitch ass nigga. No, don't do that. Don't use that. Dispatch to Lemons in 2 rounds. Lemons in 2 rounds, spectacular manner. For sure. Schofield, if he can raise his IQ, he would be. People forget he only 22. Yeah, he only 22 years old, but still, I have to look at, Teofimo Lopez when he was on a tear, going for the title eliminator. Teofimo stepped in there with Comey with only 14 fights. With only 14 fights, he stepped in there for the IBF title with Richard Comey. That's after fighting the undefeated Masayoshi Nakatani. You know what I'm saying? That's before all the wars Masayoshi Nakatani had. After that, Teofimo beat him. He had problems in the beginning, but he beat Richard Comey. Then in his 16th professional fight, he beat Lomachenko. So, it's not no only, because I will say this, Teo performed incredible to be so young at that point in time. To be so young, he did outstanding. So for Floyd, a lot of people are claiming that it's his dad, and they're looking at little small. Yes, it has to be tough, man. Dude can't have a mobile phone and shit. Hey, man, I don't get into other shit, man. I don't like getting the other black men, grown ass people, for real. But him having a phone and shit is not going to take away from his ability, because you're taking away, already they're sacrificing the sport of boxing. You're taking away moments that they're not going to ever have again. Right? These boxers who start early, they sacrifice birthdays, holidays, sometimes being in fight camp. You're never going to get that back. Some of these fighters was in the sport before they was even 20 and 21 years old. You can't get that turning 21 back. It only comes once. And when you get older and you start looking back on it, you're gonna see how many years you put into boxing and how much time you haven't put in for yourself. Same thing happened with the military. You go in the military, shit move fast depending on what MOS you in. And before you know it, you're like, God damn, all this time done passed by. Man, it was a blur. Hey, I wish the best for Floyd Schofield and his pops, man. But they have look, what don't make sense for me, right? And I hate giving analytics on somebody else's family dynamic. But what's crazy to me is Schofield Sr. said his son can't have supposedly a phone and all this shit. But you're on social media beside you, and it's all about fucking drama. So you telling me it's okay for y'all to be in fucking drama on social media, long as it's together, long as y'all do it as a team. How is that not stupid as hell? Like I can see if he wasn't even with you, but this man is right there beside you with the drama, with the shits, right? But yeah, he don't have a mobile phone. You're saying he can't educate himself with current events and everything? Why? That's crazy, bro. But you'd rather him be online with people asking questions disrespectful. To my, hey, if somebody asks, "Are you gay?" and all, you're willing to have your son there to be subjected to all the ridicule and criticism, but you don't want him to have a mobile device. It's crazy. This is out of this mind, yo. Make the money twice. Shit 3 times if it's worth seeing. Pac versus Marquez. I put Jersey and Virginia were cities. I meant both states. Love boxing. Had to correct myself. Hey man, we all make common errors. How the hell he's fake? He's from effing Mexico. I don't know. You know, people. It's just like somebody saying, "Okay, you got a black person. You say you a fake black." And this time that we living in right now, to say you're a fake black, it's only because people might saying you're a sellout or you don't claim your race. That's not the case with these. You know what I'm saying? He's saying they're fake because he doesn't see any paperwork. He doesn't see any inbox, no notifications that they're willing to fight him. That's not being fake. If they was calling a black person fake, it'd be because of the way they act. Real talk. Or some type of characteristics about them that people don't like. You know, that's what that's about. Shout out to the boxing queen, Jessica. What's good? Keyshawn, tell it like the smiling bully when you was in intermediate school. That's where you have the most public school fights. I mean, Keyshawn has his way of trash talking. I ain't mad at him. Some of it's funny, some of it's not. But at the end of the day, he has an understanding on his PR. You know, his public relations is good to go. You know what I'm saying? He's able to get people tuned in. Like his post of his last fight, it was good. You know, it was good. He called out Tank. He said, "Tank, knock, knock." You know, he called out Tank. He did what he's supposed to do. I thought his opponent was shit. But, you know, Keyshawn went in there and did what he had to do, got him up out of there. You know, gave a very thorough post-fight presser, you know what I'm saying, and kept it moving. And that was a hell of a freaking event that he put on in Norfolk, bro. At his age, 25 or something like that. I mean, Keyshawn has always been like a road runner to me. What I mean by that, you know, he's released from the Olympic training facility, came out here and got some pro fights in, and then went back and won silver. I mean, come on, that's grown man shit. That's almost like in the military, you having the deployment. You know, he was on deployment, got sent back to the rear, and then they sent him back to the deployment. You know, and still came out with some hardware. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's grown man shit Keyshawn did. I respect that. But when it comes down to the end of the day, with De La Hoya and what he's saying about the boxers and how they're basically contaminating how people look at the sport. A lot of these cats want to be friends. A lot of these dudes want to outprice themselves. I mean, we have a lot of complaints coming from all angles. You know, people feeling some type of way about Turkey Al-Sheikh. You know, we still have these people out here defending PBC and Al Heyman. It's just you want to give them some medicine for real. You know, they still out here trying to act like there needs to be a king of promotion. Well, talk that shit about Turk Al Sheik and see if it matters. That man has a bubbling. I'm talking about a limitless freaking budget, and he's gonna do things how he wants to do it. And he's sitting up here purchasing the Ring magazine and WBA, and he's just doing things his way. But yet we still got people up here talking about PBC. Why? We need to be talking about these fights, man. We need to talk about the big names of these fights, the welterweight division, the junior welterweight division. You know what I'm saying? The lightweight division. We need to be talking about that shit. Kill, he beat undefeated Nakatani, broke his orbital bone. Till was my favorite boxer. Then what happened? This kid, but Floyd, I feel being 22 and his dad calling the shots, he was not as mature. Well, I don't know. I don't know about him not being mature, because one thing about Floyd knew his worth. Floyd, when it was time for Floyd Mayweather to step back in the ring, shit. Hey, people had to hit the planner online. They had to go to their calendar and put in dates and plan and see how much work I need to submit up to this point. I'm going to take a leave of absence and I'm going to this fight. Let me make sure my paperwork is in and signed and approved, this, that, and the other. And then go up there and drop that paperwork. Why exactly you taking leave around this time? I have family come in. Yeah, we have family that's been going through some ailments and sickness and all that. Okay, it's funny because I see you online all the time looking at boxing stuff, and it kind of the bulb went off that you putting in lead paper right around the time Floyd Mayweather is fighting. Oh no, sir, I wouldn't. Sir, why would you? How would you be that smart? You a boxing fan? Yeah, I've been one for like years now. Yeah, and I know that you was one, but I don't want to really mix business with pleasure and everything, so I really never had a conversation with you. But just the fact that you tried to play me just now and coming up here putting leave in doing a Floyd Mayweather fight, I ain't mad at you, man. I approve it. Okay, go ahead about your business, get that work done. Yeah, I approve it. I had the paperwork back to you in 48 hours. You know what I'm saying? The motherfucker be out there, man. When Floyd was fighting, people used to plan accordingly, dog. They used to start doing balance inquiries, man. Going in there, deduction here, plane, just that. Start calling up people that work at airlines. Hey, is there any way you can get me on that buddy pass, man? And then you go over there. Just said, yeah, I'm going out there to see that Floyd fight, man. I mean, come on, bro. Y'all know what it is. Yeah. I got you. But you know how it is when you read. That's why I said Floyd was pretty mature. I didn't know which Floyd you was talking about, but to say that Floyd Schofield's a bit immature, I wouldn't say that, bro, because this is the reason. Floyd Schofield kind of remind me of myself a little bit. The reason why I say that is because when I used to hear my pops talk, and I know how he was because I had to live with him, right? You didn't say too much, because it wasn't your place to say it. Floyd Schofield sitting there, he would speak up every now and then, but I've seen some maturity with Schofield Jr. to the point where he'll speak up for himself now. But when his dad has the floor, so to speak, he isn't interrupting. He ain't going trying to go tit for tat with his pops. And just because his pops is extremely strict, people think he immature because he's silent. No, I used to be the same way. I sponge it all up. I have my own agenda going on, but I'm not here to basically interrupt pops and start some conflict between me and him. Obviously, you see there's a level of strictness and firmness. You know what I'm saying? You see the discipline has probably been there for a while, but Floyd is a grown fucking man, yo. He may still be in his 20s, but I don't know why people say he's immature just because he missed the bench. That ain't Floyd. And look, that ain't Schofield's Jr. problem that he missed the bench. That's his pops. That's his pops' mistake. You know what I'm saying? He was going through the natural motion in between rounds to go sit down. I don't think so. I don't think he's an immature kid. I just think there's a lot of restrictions that's going on for him. And I've been there, bro. I've been there. Like, what are you gonna do? You gonna front your pops out online? Even though you hearing all this drama, you gonna put your pops on Front Street and then you gotta deal with that once the camera go off? No. I think he's just sitting there and he's like, that's my pops. Times are ticking. I need to continue to go in there and win. If his dad get any more, like, he has to understand all this, it's gonna come a point in time. You know, your kid get older, all they want. And the shit you used to use on your son, especially when they was way younger and they didn't quite know, it's not gonna work now that Schofield Jr. is in his 20s and he's a boxer. So it's been plenty of father and son tandems that don't last. For real. He's just got a lot of restrictions going on. The man don't have no phone. He can't do this. He can't do that. That's tough, bro. Especially at this era. That's tough. That's real tough. I mean, his dad sort of kind of living like the military, you know, sort of, because it's certain things you can't do when you're in the military. Like, say, for instance, if you hanging out with your friends or whatever, and they're not in the military and they smoking, you can't smoke with them because when you come back off leave, you got a piss test. But yet, you know, that's your boys. You having a lot of fun. They're your people. They cool. You don't dislike them because they smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? It's just because you can't do it. Or, you know, they say, hey, man, you know, we're going on a 2-week vacation out here to Cabo. Come with us. And you say, I can't do it, man, because I haven't been in the service that long. I don't have that many leave days. Man, you can just do it, man. Look, y'all got a holiday coming up. Just don't come back to work, bro. Just come back a week and a half later, man, and tell them, hey, you had a flat tire. No, that shit don't work. Nigga, hey, Floyd has those restrictions on him. He don't want to go head up with his pops, and he already got a mission. He's a pro boxer. It's fucked up. Yeah, he's gonna miss out on a lot of shit, bro. But I hope it's all for the better. I hope it's all for the better, bro. Because Schofield is in the rankings, y'all. He is in the rankings. Real talk. John say, Floyd Jr. playing parent politics. He know what he doing. Yeah, man. I don't consider that young man stupid, man. He can talk. He can carry on the conversation. He's well spoken. No, man. I think he knows his limitations with his father, and he really ain't trying to ruffle his father's feathers and get under his skin, especially. But I said what I said about, you don't want him to have a mobile phone, but yet you want to check into every live that is going to be negative. What sense does that make? You prohibiting him from having a mobile phone is somewhat basically restricting him from being a part of all the damn social media drama that's out here, right? And him being on social media and having to deal with, you know, the, people asking him questions on freaking X and all that. But yet, on the other side of that, Floyd could be building up his fan base. That's what I'm saying. When you have these parents that has this military mind of restriction and disciplinary, they want to be extreme disciplinary, right? You have to look at it like he can be building up his fan base. You know what I'm saying? You just let him be on a PC for a little bit to do this. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It ain't like he ain't on social media. He need to be up there showing his face. Opposite of his pops. Not being there, goddammit. That's a grown man. But hey, y'all understand friends versus legacy? Which one is it going to be for these guys out here trying to be bosom buddies? We should do it again. We should chop it up, man. Y'all enjoy y'all Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Until next time, shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game, A-Side Official. I'm out.